Hey there! Welcome to the first video in a short series where I'll be documenting building a CNC guitar. I'm going to start this party off with a disclaimer. I don't know a darn thing about making content. I'm going to try, but if it's bad, it's your fault for demanding I do this. So, spoiler alert, I won't be touching a single piece of wood in this video. It's just me blabbing about other guitars I've ripped off. That seems like a terrible way to start, but whatever. If you came for footage of sweet CNC action where the top of my fat head blocks most of the shot, just wait for the next video. You will love it. For the two of you who might actually want to hear about my design journey, this one's for you. Behold, that's what we're going to make. For those familiar with Fender style guitars, you'll quickly notice some similar shapes and design elements that I've incorporated. So let's see how we got here. The Fender Stratocaster, probably the most iconic electric guitar of all time. Stylistically, this design doesn't do much for me. Functionally speaking, however, this will be the basis for my platform. Firstly, the scale length. On a Strat, it's 25.5 inches. So that's the distance between the nut and the bridge, or essentially how long the strings are. I have a few other guitars with that length. It's comfortable, it's what I'm used to, so we're going with that. My guitar will also have a bolt-on neck. In future projects, I'd love to attempt a set neck design, but seeing as this is in fact my first rodeo, we're keeping her simple, partner. Well, that part anyway. Conveniently, I have a Strat neck laying around, so we'll be using that, and therefore the standard Fender neck pocket dimensions. The bridge. I'm not a shredder, so I don't want anything like a Floyd Rose, but I dabble in matters of vibrato, so we'll be keeping it basic with a standard Fender 2-point trim. Next up, the Fender Jaguar. In my opinion, the most beautiful guitar of all time. If you disagree, you're wrong, and that's okay. This is what's known as an offset guitar design, meaning the body is sloped from top to bottom. It really gives it a sense of movement. Add in the chrome and the overly complex controls, and this thing looks like it rolled off a Detroit assembly line somewhere in the 1950s. Unfortunately, it also drives that way. I've owned one. It was by far the worst playing guitar I've ever had. If you know, you know. At the end of the day, at its core, my dream guitar is one that looks like a Jag, but plays like a Strat. So let's yap about some other guitars. The Mustang. Another Fender classic. Notice how the pickups are angled? Moving on. And one more we do need to mention. The Balaguer Espada. Hope I'm saying that right. Big fan of what these guys do. This is obviously a Jaguar or Jazzmaster inspired design, but what they added that I adore is this arm carve. It adds a third dimension to the shape while giving it another interesting body line. The carve on my guitar will look almost identical to this, but I promise they're very different. Hey, how do you wink into a mic? So yeah, those are the designs that inspired me to do my thing. But did you catch the flaw with all of them?
Yeah, they're all right-handed.
Astute and correct observation, old troll somehow in my room. But that's not what I'm getting at. They all have pick guards. I like pick guards, I think they look cool. But I'm thinking if I'm going to go out of my way to build a custom guitar, I might as well use some rad wood. And if I'm going to do that, it would be a shame to just cover half of it up. So goodbye pickguard and hello figured maple drop top. No guard means everything gets rear mounted. No problem, lots of folks do that.
But what about the pickups?
Damn, who are you people? Yeah, what about the pickups? I absolutely despise mounting rings, so that's out. I could hard mount them from the front, but everyone does that. What if I came up with a way where there was no visible mounting hardware? What if they were rear mounted? Let me run with that.
Several days later.
So I mocked it up. It works on paper. Well, on Pixel. We'll get into that later. The other snafu is that arm relief line. On a solid chunk of wood, carving that sharp line is no problem. But if I intend to use a 1/4 inch thin top, I gotta noodle out a way to make it take that shape without splitting or revealing the less beautiful wood beneath. I have some ideas for that too. Anyway, so those are all the puzzle pieces. Through forced captivity, selective wood breeding, and war-era genetic testing practices, I intend to make the perfect soldier. Guitar. I intend to make the perfect guitar. For me. So I can play the same 4 songs I've been sloppily fumbling through for the last 20 or so years. This is important work. Stay tuned.